Good afternoon, Miss Silver. Thank you so much for coming to the interview. And how are you today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Great. I'm so glad you came out today. So we're going to go over a series of questions and just ask them to your best that you can. And if you don't understand, just ask me to repeat it for you, okay?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, I will.
All right. First question. Tell us about yourself and what you think sets you apart from other applicants.
I am a very outgoing person. I believe that I have a top-notch personality that seems to get the attention and warm the hearts of other people. I have a passion and a drive for human resources, so therefore I have a knack to place myself in situations where my coworkers are and understand things that they're going through, which helps me to process their situations a little bit better, help them find some solutions in what they're trying to achieve. This goes a long way because communication is very important when you're holding a role of being in human resources. So I think that it in itself sets me apart, the fact that I can just gain the trust and the respect of a team from the beginning and kind of build and grow upon that trust.
Okay, so you mean to get that rapport with the customer or the employee?
Yes.
Okay. All right, next question. Briefly describe your biggest professional weakness.
My biggest professional weakness would be the ability not to say no. And what I mean by that is because of my big heart in business or on my personal life, sometimes I take on too much. I put myself out there to volunteer, to help others where I can, whether it be on a project, whether it be just to partner with them on anything they're doing. And when you take on a lot on your own shoulders, it relieves the stress of the individual you're helping, but it adds added stress to myself because I'm trying to meet my own deadlines, but help them to be successful in reaching their own deadlines as well. And I've heard this from other individuals. It's not a bad thing because we're there to partner with each other and help each other out. But if I were to pinpoint a weakness, that would be one of my biggest weaknesses, is that it's hard for me to tell anybody no.
Yes, and sometimes that can be very overwhelming.
It can be, yes.
Okay, good answer. Tell us about a time when you showed grit in the workplace.
That would be just the knack and the know-how how to deal with individuals. Um, Sometimes people will take your kindness for your weakness. And being in human resources, you have to know when there is a time to put that divide there, when to be personable, to help them, to listen to them, to help them reach their aspirations, but also when to be stern and let them know, I'm here for you. However, if what you're telling me is going to affect the organization, or is going against any policies or anything like that, then I'm not going to be able to keep that information to myself, and I'm going to have to share it with those that are on a need to know basis. Sometimes employees don't understand that because they have so much faith and trust in you, they feel like they can tell you anything and it's going to stay within that circle. But you have to be a little gritty and a little mean sometimes, if you will. Unintentionally, there's a professional way to deliver negative information, and you have to know when and how to do that.
Okay, good answer. Summarize where you see yourself in your career in the next 5, 10, or 30 years.
5 and 10 years, I'm pretty much where I see myself. Um, I have an ambition to want to be in the human resource field, which is where all of my experience is, but to be kind of on a regional level. So within the next 5 to 10 years, I would like to continue my growth in the human resource department with my training and development, gaining all the skills and the knowledge that I can, working with the SHRM organization and some other professional organizations so that I can continue my growth and move into a director position, but on a regional level. When you talk about 30 years, the big word for me is retirement. We all strive and work towards retirement. So I would like to be at a point where I can feel comfortable that I have contributed everything that I can give to an organization, leaving them in a good place, and leave the company so that I can continue in my personal life living a happy retirement. That for me, that would be traveling, that will be spending time with my grandkids. But because I have such a passion for human resources, I still would not just let that go. Maybe going into a side business and doing a little HR consulting with some companies. That way I can do that on my own schedule on a part-time basis and on an as-needed basis.
Okay. Identify what kind of person you have difficulty working with.
I have difficulty working with a micromanager. When you are in leadership, there's always going to be some expectations that you have for the individuals that work for you. I truly believe that being a successful leader is surrounding yourself with a successful cast. So if you have people that are working in your circle, that are working around you, that's going to make you look good, you have to have trust and faith in them that they are doing the job well. It's perfectly all right to set your expectations, what you need, what you're looking to get out of a project, what you want the end result to be, but you have to have faith in your supporting cast that they can carry out your expectations and your mission and make it come to fruition. If you don't have that trust and respect for the people that you've hired to work around you to make you look successful, then basically you might as well run the organization yourself and do the business yourself. So I can get along with anybody and everybody, but I do find it hard to get along with somebody that is micromanaging all the time. Some of the time it's okay, but all the time can be a little tedious.
Yeah, that can be kind of stressful. Last question. Explain how you would handle conflict in the workplace with coworkers or with clients, patients, or customers.
In human resources, the word conflict is a common word. You can have conflict between employees and leaders. You can have conflict between employees among themselves. It can come from employees not wanting to follow policies. It can come from employees feeling like, with this new generation, they feel like, they come there to get a paycheck. They don't have a passion and love for what they actually do. They're just looking at the dollar sign. So they don't want anybody telling them what to do. They don't want to follow the rules. This can bring a lot of conflict, not just between the employee and the management, but also the peers that are working with them as well, especially those that are more seasoned and have been there for a while. They're not used to this new age employment. So you have to be able to talk to individuals to get their statements, what the concerns are. Investigate those concerns, meaning you want to find out the facts. You want to pull personnel records to look at those to see what's in individuals' personnel files. You want to talk to leadership to see what their what kind of employee they are. You may want to look at performance reviews. It depends on what the situation is. But the bottom line is, when you go to make a decision on any conflict, make it off of the facts you have and not off of opinion or who you feel you like or dislike or want to get rid of. It has to be based off of facts. Sometimes it's just one word against the other, and that may be bringing both parties together to discuss it out. Sometimes it may result in somebody losing their job, but you still want to base it off of having factual information.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming in for the interview, and we will get back to you within the next week or two, okay?
Thank you for sharing, and you had given me the opportunity. I look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.